Hello everybody, today I'm doing a comparison of winter weather in Sedona, Arizona versus Flagstaff, Arizona. And what I've done basically is we had a very big snowstorm in northern Arizona on the first weekend of February, and I took a drive through Sedona, which is where I live, on the day after the first storm. And then I took another drive about 2 days later to Flagstaff, Arizona, and I put my camera on the dash so you can kind of see the difference of the amount of snowfall that lands and lays on the ground in Sedona versus Flagstaff. Now, Sedona and Flagstaff are about an hour apart, both in northern Arizona, both beautiful mountain type towns, but definitely a difference between the climate in the wintertime. So I hope you enjoy the difference between Flagstaff and Sedona, Arizona. All right, today we are driving after the same winter storm that passed through both Sedona, Arizona and Flagstaff, Arizona. So this happened the next day. This is the first weekend of February 2024. I am driving through Sedona. This is actually Village of Oak Creek, very close to my home. And this is Suncliff, so it kind of winds through the residential area. It's no businesses or resorts, anything right here, because this is a housing development. Now, you could see we have got these clouds and the fog kind of hanging low on the Red Rocks. This is Courthouse Butte directly ahead of you, and Bell Rock you can see towards the left of Courthouse. Now, something is going on in this neighborhood where you have more homes under construction than usual. And when I say more homes, there's maybe 3 or 4 of them. And what's happened is some builders have purchased vacant lots and they're putting up spec homes. And you'll see those on the right-hand side. But it's a very cloudy day. We did have a storm yesterday, which dropped just a couple of inches of snow in Sedona and maybe a foot of snow in Flagstaff. Now, this is the next day after the storm. In Flagstaff, there's still plenty of snow on the ground, but most of it has melted in Sedona, and that's why you see the roads are still wet and the clouds are kind of hanging low on the Red Rocks. So now, this snowstorm, it was actually kind of a warm weekend, and temperatures just slightly above in the high 30s, which is why none of the snow stuck. But in Flagstaff, it was much colder. It was in the 20s, and so there's still plenty of snow on the ground. And I'm going to take you midway through this video and show you our drive into Flagstaff after the same snowstorm dumped snow. This is just the Flagstaff drive is going to be a day after I did the drive into here. So I want to tell you a little bit about the difference between Sedona and Flagstaff. Now, if you are driving north from Phoenix, the Sedona exit is about an hour before you would get to Flagstaff. So only an hour difference, but yet I want you to see the main differences in the weather in Sedona versus Flagstaff. And that's why a lot of people like to retire in Sedona and maybe not as much in Flagstaff. Now, on the right of me is Bell Rock that we're passing, and actually looks great about a day or 2 after snowfall, because you see all these little streams that are trickling down the Red Rocks, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then also today was a great day because of the clouds hanging down, and it just looked really pretty. But the main differences between Flagstaff and Sedona, of course, you've got the population difference, right? So Sedona, the city of Sedona has less than 10,000 residents, but if you count the outlying areas and the Village of Oak Creek, of course, is the unincorporated area of Sedona, probably another 6,000 to 8,000 residents. So between the two, all of Sedona, both zip codes and the outlying areas, maybe you have 15,000, 16,000 residents, but in Flagstaff, there's about 76,000 residents. And in Flagstaff, there's Northern Arizona University, so it's a bit of a college town. Also, you'll have a higher median age in Sedona. So, but the other thing is, of course, the climate that makes it so nice. Sedona is at 4,000 to 4,500 foot elevation, and Flagstaff is about 6,900 to 7,000 above sea level, so you can have colder temperatures in the winter, although the summertime Flagstaff is fantastic. So let me tell you a little bit of the differences. Sedona averages about 11 inches of snow annually, whereas Flagstaff has about 81 inches of snow annually, and we had a very heavy snow year last year where there were, I think, over 130 inches of snow. I'd have to look that up to be sure, but the record high of snow in Flagstaff is closer to 140 inches. Now you're seeing now we've moving into Flagstaff. This again was from the same winter storm, but this was 2 days later that we're taking a drive into Flagstaff. Now Sedona gets about 23 inches of rain per year, Flagstaff 21, so very close on the rainfall. The big difference in precipitation is 11 inches of snow in Sedona versus 81 inches of snow in Flagstaff, and the snow in Flagstaff, as you can see, sticks to the ground much longer than it does in Sedona. Sedona, snow sticks 1 to 2 days after the snow unless you keep getting subsequent storms, but in Flagstaff there have been winters where it's snowy the entire winter where it doesn't melt. And now the January low in Sedona is about 32 degrees, but quite often it's in the 20s and 30s in January overnight, whereas in Flagstaff the low average is about 14 degrees, but there are times where it gets below zero, but very cold in the winter time in Flagstaff versus Sedona. Sedona's still cold, but now let's contrast that to the high in the winter time. January high in Sedona is about 53 degrees, although quite often it's in the 40s, and in Flagstaff the high typically 43 degrees, although again it is often in the 30s, sometimes in the 20s. So of course the main difference is because of the elevation, Flagstaff being a mountain town. Very beautiful, very nice in the summertime. Again, if you don't mind the snow, it's a beautiful winter wonderland in Flagstaff, but the difference is Sedona, again you have the nice winter climate where you'll get a snowstorm for a couple of days, and then you don't have to shovel your driveway. Usually it melts very fast. Typically they don't even need to plow the streets in Sedona in the wintertime because, again, you'll get 6 inches of snow and it will melt the next day. And if you have a truck, you don't even need to worry about it being plowed. I often will just leave, and sometimes I'm like, wow, there's so much snow on the ground, but yet my truck, if it's in all-wheel drive, it can handle it. So you see here we are in Flagstaff, same storm, but yet the trees still have snow in them. The ground has about a foot on this particular snow. Now, I didn't compile my video until late February, so I apologize. This was taken about February 3rd, the very first weekend in February, but I'm uploading it to my camera at the very end of February. So we have had several snowstorms since this particular footage was taken, so there's probably a little more snow in February in Flagstaff right now. Now, typically, February is a very snowy time of year in Flagstaff and Sedona. We did not have as much snow this year in either Flagstaff or actually anywhere in northern Arizona as we did last year. Last year, we thought the winter was never going to end. This year, it's been pretty mild, and that's kind of typical. Like, you could have one year be very snowy, lots of precip, and another year, not as much snow. So another difference in, I might have already told you, the population. Okay, population of Sedona, much fewer people in Sedona. Flagstaff, about 76,000 people live there. Now, there's a lot more going on in Flagstaff, too. You got Northern Arizona University. You have a lot of people of working age that have jobs, a lot of jobs in hospitality in Flagstaff. Same thing in Sedona, because Sedona is almost entirely a tourist town, whereas Flagstaff, you have industry, and you have a lot more people that are living there full-time, plus you have the university. So more going on in Flagstaff. A lot of times people in Flagstaff will make frequent trips to Sedona on the weekends, and vice versa. People in Sedona will make frequent trips to Flagstaff just to visit and hang out and do things. And you could even live in Sedona, say, and work in Flagstaff, or go to Northern Arizona University because it's close. If you don't mind a commute, it's a very rural commute, so you're not stopping for traffic. It's very possible. But here we are rolling into town. As you can see on the left, the San Francisco Peaks. Well, you can't quite see them, but very snow covered, really nice drive. Now, we are parking at Northern Arizona University. To the right, I am an alumnus of Northern Arizona University, so it's one of my favorite places. So I hope you enjoy the video. Now, my name is Dawn Dickinson. Typically, I post videos like this on my real estate channel, but I just posted another driving tour, and I didn't want to burn my viewers out, so I'm posting it here. If you have any interest in learning about Northern Arizona real estate, check out my other YouTube channel, which is Living in Northern Arizona. My name is Dawn Dickinson, and I post videos every single week. So if you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button because I post videos like this all the time, and I hope to see you back here on my channel next week.